I'm not scared. Okay, I'm kind of scared. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Warrior Wednesday. Today we don't have very much for you. I apologize for that. Our garage flooded and it has been in shambles ever since then. I also just found out I have a little buddy, a little mouse, running around the garage. I've actually got my 625 Magnum cold steel blowgun with these fantastic bamboo darts. I've got one ready just in case it pops up again, and I will take that mouse out. You better believe it. A couple of things before we get started. You might notice that the camera footage is much better, and I probably look horrible in high definition. I apologize for that. I did end up getting a new camera. I'm very excited about it. It's an awesome camera. I've also got a lapel mic, so hopefully my audio is better. It's a wireless mic, and my coworker Noel, thank you very much for helping me. He actually helped me rig up a thing on the top of the camera here, and what it does, it communicates with the box on the lapel mic. It was a 1/4 inch phone jack, and it had to get stepped down to a 3.5 millimeter, and then it had to go from stereo to non-stereo, and yada yada. But long story short is, he hardwired a pigtail in with the proper 3.5 millimeter jack, so I can just plug it directly into the side of the camera over there. So thank you, Noel, I appreciate that. Here is the aftermath of the flooding that happened. They just kind of pulled out the drywall and essentially left it like that. They had a fan blowing on it and stuff. So here's what the quad looks like with some plastics on it. The colors flow really well, but overall I think the whole color scheme here is working pretty good. Here's the proper diameter rear brake rotor for this setup with the caliper and bracket and everything I've got. I believe this is a 245 millimeter diameter, whereas the other one's a 225 millimeter diameter. So we're going to be putting this on. And then here we have the muffler that will be going on this. It's just a cheap eBay muffler. I think it costs like 30 bucks or something. But the quality of it is actually fantastic. And it does have the removable silencer in it. So you can kind of, you know, if you want to go racing around, you can pull that out, or if you're in the forest and you have decibel restrictions, you can put it back in. It's not white either. This is actually just a protective coating on the muffler, so it actually looks more like that. It's going to be pretty sweet. Thinking about something like just having it mount under here like that. Alright, so just right away you can look at these side by side and you can see there's a big difference between these two discs. This one is the one that was on it that was too small. And if we line it up here, you can see there's a gap there about 3/8 of an inch or so. And if you recall in my other video where I put the caliper on, I did mention that there was about a 3/8 of an inch gap where the pads won't contact the disc. So there are two different diameters of brake rotors in the back, or discs if you will. So just be aware of that. If you're ordering one of these for your Warrior, there's two different diameters. Take the one off that you have and measure it if it's not damaged and match it to the other one. I will put a link in the description below for this disc. This actually came direct from China and it took probably about a month to get here. So FYI, the particular one that I ordered does come from China. So remember that. Let's get this put back on, and then we'll get the wheel back on loosely and we will put it back together. And so I do recommend using Loctite on these screws that hold the brake disc on, just as a precaution. You could probably also use lock washers, but I think Loctite's just fine for this application. So I would use the red kind. You could use the blue, I guess, but red's gonna hold up a lot better, obviously, with the high heat of a braking system. Now, just as a side note, when you're applying Loctite, you just need a little tiny bit. I usually just put a little bbit on one bolt like that. Then I'll take another bolt and just kind of roll them together like that. That's usually more than enough. As the Loctite motto goes, just a dab will do ya. Okay, so our brake disc is torqued and we're ready to put the caliper on. Primarily all I'm trying to prove here is that the pad is in full contact with the actual disc surface itself. And as you can see here, it is in full contact with the actual disc surface area. So we now have the proper brake disc. These tabs are undone because I was going to pull these bolts to switch the pads out, so don't worry about that. We'll get those locked back down soon. And it's back assembled again. Just as a side note, when you see me do something on this quad right now, all the bolts are going to be loose. I'm going to have a party after everything's done. I'm going to go back around, properly torque everything to spec, and get everything locked in, and then also add the safety cotter pins. So don't worry about that, calm down. So in one of the previous videos I had on Warrior Wednesday, I mentioned installing these heel guards, and the rear mount back here has nowhere to go on this older frame. So what I came up with is quite the simple solution. This is a house tuning brand off of Amazon. Of course, the link will be in the description down there. I believe these are for 1-inch tube all the way down to 7/8 tube. This tube measures right around 0.88. These are actually to mount light bars and such, or accessory lighting to a RZR, quad, UTV, stuff like that. Or even they make bigger ones for trucks and stuff like that. My idea was to get this, clamp it on the tube, and then essentially mark and then drill and tap where this bracket needs to go through. This hole here is a little bit too low. These are going to be awesome. These are actually pretty beefy, and I think they're going to be quite strong enough to support this to the frame. Obviously the solution would have been to weld a tab onto the frame over there before getting it powder coated. I was not aware that the older frames did not have provisions for those heel guards. Learn from my mistakes and I will learn from mine. Let me know what you guys think about this new video and the new audio. If the audio is not cutting it, let me know. I'll come up with another solution. I couldn't make these videos and I couldn't upgrade my equipment if it weren't for all of you guys subscribing. Thank you very much for that. I really, really highly appreciate it. I don't think you understand. So this will conclude the Warrior Wednesday video for this week, and we're gonna bring you another one next week, obviously right here on this channel. So come back and check it out. Be sure to check out my Instagram page. The link's always in the description below. And as always, check out the affiliate links. And when you click on those and use those links, that helps my channel out. And it helps me to buy more parts and more equipment to make my channel better. If you want to help the channel and you want less lame videos, support it. That being said, thank you for watching and we'll catch you on the next video.